talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go on this Monday evening. It is the 22nd day of September and the first day of fall 2025. Welcome. 6 o'clock straight up. Welcome to this all live brand new edition of Real Talk Memphis. I am your humble host. My name is Chip Washington. Very glad to be back in the air chair this evening. Back with you, of course, after another week. A lot of folks saw some rain today. Yes, indeed, we did. Saw some rain. And, Lola said her yard needed it. I'm sure there's a whole bunch of dry stuff out there that needed it as well today. So, and we're going to get some more rain tomorrow, from what I'm to understand as well, some hit and miss. As we go into the week, temperatures are going to cool back down into the 80s for the most part this week. So, should be a very pleasant week weather-wise for most of us out there, which is a good thing. So I hope you have done well since the last time we communicated about a week or so ago. And got some breaking news here at the top of the broadcast. I will share that in just a moment or two. But, of course, we're glad to have you with us, as always. And we have a great group of guests that will be joining me this evening. In light of recent developments, we all know that the National Guard and other federal assets are coming to Memphis. And I'm going to have a conversation. There's Bryn. I'm going to have a conversation with some folks tonight that are opposed with this. I'm going to talk to someone who thinks this is a good idea. And I'm going to talk to somebody else who has a particular group that is concerned about it as well. So three people with three different thoughts about what is about to happen in and around our city. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. But in terms of you trying to find this fine piece of radio broadcasting, you can do it a number of ways. Of course, we're live right now on 91.7. That will be WYXR. 97.1 on the FM dial. You can also find us on the WYXR app. Hear us live on the TuneIn app. We are going to be live streaming this evening on Facebook Live, so you can catch us there. And when the show posts in the next day or so, you can find us on YouTube. And as we are a podcast, you can always find us wherever it is you get your podcast. So plenty of ways to find out what we're doing around here and hear what I hope to be a very interesting show. Before we get into that now, normally I would have a list of birthdays today. I dropped my list somewhere as I was walking in here, but I don't have that. So to all folks, and Lola does have a birthday, by the way. Lola, go ahead and give your birthday shout out at the top here. So we can...
Happy birthday to my dear friend, Miss Paige Hannah. And happy birthday to my favorite auntie, Miss Wanda Faye Robinson. If you have nothing to do on Saturday, we're celebrating over at the Rocking Chair. Come on out.
All right, the Rocking Chair, ladies and gentlemen. We're celebrating the birthday. Listen, happy birthday to those two lovely young women. And for those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday from all of us here at Real Talk Memphis. We hope your day was filled with love and laughter. Okay, so a couple of news and notes here. And literally as I was getting out of the car, which is probably where I dropped my list, we found out that the county commission has finally voted to put everybody, including the Memphis and Shelby County School District system, under the same election rules. So in other words, all of them will be up for re-election next year. I said all, which means the ones that were voted in 2024, they will have to, if they want to keep their seats, they will have to run for re-election in 2026. So this is a big deal here. This is a big deal we've been living with this for quite some time. The folks have been livid in this town ever since the situation with Dr. Fagan's being terminated, so the people have spoken. This is kind of a pseudo, I guess you could call this a pseudo recall. And so, yeah, it's the state voted for it. Now they've cut the terms. Now these people were elected. All of them were elected. And now you basically cut their term in half. And if they want to run for their seat, to keep their seat, they have to run for re-election. But that also means that a lot of you out there who are complaining about this and thought you could do better, this could be your opportunity. If you choose to want to be a part of the Memphis and Shelby County School Board, well, apparently, according to what we've heard, and again, you guys can hit me up via text. You can hit during the show tonight. Make sure I have this right. Text me and let me know. Yes, Chip, that's what happened. I'm also seeing, and I'm also hearing from some folks that were in the gallery. As a matter of fact, one of the county commissioners sent me a text and said that as of tomorrow, expect the Memphis and Shelby County School Board to file a lawsuit. Not a surprise. Against this starting tomorrow. So yeah, this process is just beginning. But yeah, if you're just joining us, the Shelby County commissioners have voted in a 7-5 vote to put Memphis and Shelby County schools under the same election cycle as the county, which would be next year. So they will be up for re-election in 2026. That is a big, big deal. I'm sure more of that as time moves along. In terms of the show tonight, we have several guests this evening, and I dubbed this an important show because we're all dealing with this issue of what comes next for us. The National Guard is coming to Memphis as the governor ordered and the president ordered, and of course a lot of the federal assets will be coming with them, of course. And all of this will be happening, I guess, sooner rather than later. We don't know a whole lot about all of this, like how many troops are coming. We do know that federal assets, of course, the marshals, the FBI, the TB, the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, ATF, and a lot of other folks are going to be here. Of course, ICE as well are going to be here soon. How's this going to change the dynamic of the city? What's going to happen here? How are the streets going to look? How are we going to look? By the way, there's additional 50 troopers that will be added to this mix as well. We have 50 plus Highway Patrol troopers from Tennessee Highway Patrol in the city. Now we're going to get 50 more. Feels pretty heavy. Anyway, in reference to that, I've invited 3 folks to join me tonight. My first guest will be State Senator Ramesh Akbari. She will be joining me in just a few minutes to share her views on all of this and what she thinks will happen and what we can expect. Then I will have Luke Simbel. And now Luke is the vice chairman of the Republican Party of Shelby County. And I think they have a bit of a different view in reference to what is going to happen. I think they favor the Guard coming. So we're going to hear from him and why they think the Guard coming and all these federal assets coming is a good thing. And then a little bit later on, we're going to be speaking with the executive director of Latino Memphis. His name is Mauricio Calvo. And of course, ICE is a big issue. We have a high immigrant population in our city. We are called a sanctuary city. And how's this going to affect them now? And what's going to happen in terms of education for the young folks and a lot of other things? So there's a lot of dynamics at play here. And this is, whether one chooses to believe it or not, this is a big deal for a whole lot of us here in this city to have to try to figure out exactly what's next. I don't know what time it is. Y'all, what time is it? Because my phone is. Okay, it's 6:09. So anyway, so in reference to that, that's my guest list for this evening. A couple of news and notes. As we said before, in reference to what is about to occur with these additional personnel coming to our city, the city council had a press conference on Friday. Tomorrow, they're going to bring forth a resolution, if that's what you choose to call it, on being against the National Guard troops coming here. They had a big show last week about all of this. They're going to officially vote on it tomorrow at the city council meeting. No, we don't want the National Guard here. No, we don't need the National Guard here. What we need is federal funds, not federal troops. So they made a big show of all of that. Now, tonight I thought that I'm not sure if they did it or not, the county commission was supposed to have a couple of those proclamations as well this evening. One saying that, no, we don't need the intrusion from the federal government. And the second one was exactly what they're going to do. My whole thing about this is just, and I'm just a simple, common sense kind of a dude. And my thought process is, if the National Guard comes here and they are not law enforcement equipped or federalized, they can't make arrests, what are they going to do? I mean, I'm hearing everything from helping to beautify the streets to helping with blight to helping with, I don't understand. I just really don't know what this big show of troops coming here is going to be. And we've heard anywhere from 100 to 125, 150. We just don't know. So, I mean, I guess I wonder if it was such a big deal to bring the federal troops here, what exactly are the duties they're going to assume? Because mostly they fill a support role. If I'm wrong about it, I'm sure somebody out here will say something to me on Facebook Live line tonight. But I'm just trying to figure out exactly where we are with all of this and why this is such a big deal. I think we need to be concerned about 100 troopers in this town. I mean, we know there'll be checkpoints, no doubt. They'll be shutting down streets. They'll be patrolling high traffic areas. I'm sure downtown will see a presence, no doubt, and things like that. So there's a lot. But there are more questions that we don't know answers to than we do, and we'll have to wait and watch and see. I don't think they'll be here this week. Maybe, I don't know, the governor last time he said in a week or two. So we'll find out what all the roles are, who's doing what, where, when, and how. So there's a lot to cover here, and there's a lot to talk about. This is an important conversation tonight. I have always believed that there are two sides to every story. And, we may feel one way on one side of the street. Somebody else may feel another way on the other side of the street. You have to in order to be fair and balanced, you have to have two sides of the equation. And we have that tonight. I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, we'll be waiting for my first guest to log in, so we can get into this conversation. I hope that you are out there tonight, and I hope that you give us a few minutes to listen to this show, to really find out exactly what people are thinking and what the concern is in this situation that I would considerably say that is unknown for so many of us here. This is Real Talk. This is, what's the name of the show? Real Talk Memphis, right? It's been a long day. I'm Chip, your host. You know who you are. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest? Or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
Support for WYXR comes from the Museum of Science and History, presenting the return of Laser Live, a monthly concert series running July through November in the AutoZone Sharp Planetarium. Each event features live bands with laser light shows, with WYXR DJs providing a pre-show set at 6 p.m. More information and tickets can be found at moshmemphis.com/laser-live.
Support for WYXR comes from Rootstock Wine Merchants. Located at 644 Madison in the Edge District, Rootstock is committed to bringing Memphis wines from small, independent producers with minimal intervention. More information on Rootstock's full selection of wine, beer, and spirits and online ordering available at rootstockmemphis.com.
Support for WYXR comes from Slowdown Cinema Club, presenting Inherent Vice with a special pre-show screening on Friday, September 26th at the Museum of Science and History. Tickets and more information at slowdowndrygoods.com.
Support from WYXR comes from Sunset Jazz at Court Square, a free, family-friendly concert series presented by Just Jazzin', downtown Memphis and City of Memphis. Held every second Sunday from May through October, this annual event brings the smooth sounds of Memphis jazz to the heart of downtown at 62 North Main Street. Each show spotlights local talent in a wide range of styles, from straight ahead to swing. More information can be found at sunsetjazzmemphis.com.
Support for WYXR comes from the Germantown Performing Arts Center, presenting an evening with Eliane Elias on Saturday, October 4th at 8 p.m. A pianist, singer, composer, and arranger, Elias blends her Brazilian roots with instrumental jazz and classical composition skills through her voice and piano playing. Her performance will be a tribute to Memphis's jazz giant, the late Melvin Massey Jr. Tickets and more information at gpacweb.com.
Grinder Tabor Grinder Commercial Construction Contractors is proud to support the 2025 Raised by Sound Festival. As the builder of Crosstown Concourse, Grinder Tabor Grinder supports WYXR's shared goals of building community, whether through the music we enjoy together or the spaces that bring us together. More information at grindertabor.com. Support for WYXR comes from Crosstown Brewing Company. Crosstoberfest is happening Saturday, October 11th from 12 to 9 p.m. with live music, costume contest, Stein holding contest, food, and more. More information at the Crosstown Brewing Facebook page.
Programming for WYXR is brought to you by a grant from the Hyde Family Foundation, who is committed to creating a better future for the city of Memphis by supporting initiatives that enrich our city's cultural landscape.
I'm Patrick Tamburino, host of the Techno Strategist podcast. Join me as we navigate the ever-evolving world of IT managed services and beyond. We'll explore everything from selecting the ideal tech partner to the forefront of cutting-edge technologies, all infused with my own unique perspective and hopefully a touch of humor. Don't forget to tune in to the Techno Strategist on the WYXR Podcast Network. For more information, head over to wyxr.org.
Whether it's a clunker or a classic, your car can keep Memphis grooving. Free pickup, tax deductible, and all for WYXR. Donate your vehicle at cars.wyxr.org.
Support for WYXR comes from Halloran Center Presents, featuring Tablao Flamenco on Thursday, September 25th. The dance company brings a fresh approach to this dynamic art form through improvisation, music, and artistry. A free community dance workshop will take place on Wednesday, September 24th. For more information, visit orpheum-memphis.com.
Support for WYXR comes from the Germantown Performing Arts Center, presenting an evening with Eliane Elias on Saturday, October 4th at 8 p.m. A pianist, singer, composer, and arranger, Elias blends her Brazilian roots with instrumental jazz and classical composition skills through her voice and piano playing. Her performance will be a tribute to Memphis's jazz giant, the late Melvin Massey Jr. Tickets and more information at gpacweb.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Glad to have you with us, Chip, with you tonight. And very happy to have my first guest with me. She is no stranger to our broadcast. And I thought for this conversation, I thought it would be very prudent of me to have her on with us this evening. Please welcome our State Senator Ramesh Akbari. And my friend, it's great to see you. Thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Hey, Chip, always great to see you. Always great to be in conversation.
Well, listen, there's a lot to converse about here tonight. We found out about the county commission has decided that the Memphis and Shelby County School Board will fall under the 2026 election plan, which means half of them are going to have to run for re-election if they choose to do so. And of course, they've already announced they're going to file a lawsuit. You have any thoughts on this? I know this is fresh for all of us here.
No, certainly. I mean, I voted against the legislation when it came through the Senate. the possibility to allow a county commission to move up elections. These school board members were elected to 4-year terms. Now, it's one thing to pass legislation to institute term limits, or even to do something like that, or recall, which I think that's something that people have wanted.
Right.
But because you're unhappy with a decision a group of duly elected officials make, moving up their election, I think is just bad precedent. It's undemocratic, and quite frankly, I think it's unconstitutional. So we'll see how long, or if this resolution will stand.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole lot more to this, no doubt about it. But I want to shift to the issue at hand for a whole lot of folks around here. For many of us, we now know that the National Guard is coming, per Governor Lee and President Trump, and we have assets coming to our city. I have to get your take on all of this. I know where you stand in all of this, but I wanted to make sure that I gave you an opportunity to express your thoughts.
Definitely. I mean, I think the National Guard coming to any city in America is a pretty severe action. Sending in troops, the concept of occupying a city, especially one that has their own local law enforcement. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is they are coming, as you said, Chip, and I think it's up to us to make the best out of this situation. I have some colleagues who served in the Senate in California. Now they're in the county commission. They said it really wasn't that helpful in LA. So we'll see what happens in Memphis. But I know Mayor Young has some good ideas about beautification, really helping them to fill in the gap in areas that are needed. My only concern is that people know their rights. They know what the National Guard can and cannot do, and that, people stay safe.
Yeah, absolutely that. And I think, we've been seeing a lot of folks been posting stuff on Facebook, a lot of text messages back and forth about how we need to act around here. You don't drive dirty, you don't do this, you don't do that. In other words, you don't give them a reason. And we've heard from a young lady, I guess, on Facebook who lives in D.C. now, who's from Memphis, who talked about exactly what happened up there and, what we can expect in terms of checkpoints and a lot of other things. But maybe it's me. I really don't understand if the troops are coming here for a quote unquote support role, and if he doesn't federalize them to give them law enforcement authority, exactly what are they going to be doing? I mean, why would you send troops here to just sort of stand around and just kind of watch? I'm lost in that. That's just me.
Yeah.
But maybe that's me. I don't know.
I mean, they don't have law enforcement authority. They cannot arrest people. They can't have checkpoints. They can't serve or issue warrants. So, I mean, that's the bottom line. And I think, the bottom line is, what can they do? Hopefully, from what I've been told, these will be folks that are coming from Tennessee. So they have some understanding of the area, I hope. But honestly, they'll be working under local law enforcement. There will be some federal elements to it. I think there's some concern that this might be a mask for a larger ICE operation. But I think that, the FBI, the DEA, state troopers, they've all been working together with Memphis leadership for some time. And if it were that, okay. But I think anytime you look at an American city and you have this idea of troops standing on the corner, then I think that scares people. And hopefully that won't be the case in Memphis. Again, hopefully they will provide a support role working with our law enforcement, the sheriff's office, the police department, to really fill any needs that are necessary.
It really is interesting to me that the mayor, the city mayor, Paul Young, or the county mayor, Lee Harris, don't really have a whole lot to do with this. I know that the mayor, Young, has, as you suggested, he has some thoughts about what could be done in reference to the troops coming here. My concern is, in addition to that, my bigger concern is sending 50 more troops down here, 50 more troopers rather down here to our city. We already have over 50, and now the governor says we're gonna send 50 more. So there'll be over 100 troopers up and down the streets and the highways and everything else.
Yeah.
They do have arrest authority, and they do concern me because we really don't know what the mission has been assigned. We don't know what the mission is and what their marching orders do. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I think specifically related to supporting the National Guard, certainly there is concern there. In the past, when state troopers have come down here, they really have helped with traffic enforcement, looking at issuing tickets, like you said, trying to have a presence so that there was a reduction in shootings on the highway, which we were reaching kind of record numbers of people just shooting out of their vehicles. that has gone down. So we'll see. I talked with the Department of Safety for the state of Tennessee right after this announcement was made about the National Guard coming, really to ask about the troopers. Like right now, the troopers, they ever so often they will do some concentrated missions per se, and they're doing one right now in Memphis to help with crime enforcement, and then they'll kind of get back out. So we'll see exactly what's going to happen. I think I read that 150 National Guard members will come down, plus you have the troopers.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the National Guardmen should be working under local law enforcement. So I think at least we have that.
Well, we shall see what happens with that. And another thing that really concerns me is ICE. We know what it was like in Los Angeles, my home city, and in D.C. and a lot of other places. We are, as they say, we have a high immigrant population here in the city of Memphis, and these folks are flat out scared. I mean, because with what we've seen throughout the country and other areas of the country. How do you feel about all of that? Because I really think that that there's something under all of this, you know what I mean? And you sort of alluded to it a minute ago, but I think that ICE might be the ticket on that. What do you think about that?
Well, that's really the hard part, because you don't want to create this culture of fear, this culture where kids are scared to go to school, parents are scared to be out in the community.
Right.
We do have a heavy immigrant population. Being undocumented is not a crime. It is a civil offense that you can be fined for. It is not a criminal act. And so when you have these aggressive, covert tactics to go in, they're really breaking up families. And a lot of these people are either in the visa process, they were here on a work visa, they came over here legally at some point, and they're just in the process. And we've seen that. We've seen folks who, supported the efforts of Donald Trump, and they were excited about this immigration crackdown. And unfortunately, they're seeing their average everyday neighborhood folks being arrested as opposed to criminals and all these people that was initially promised. And I'll tell you, even in Nashville, you had several bars on Broadway, bars and restaurants, one of which is owned by Kid Rock, that had to shut down because they were fear about ICE raids. And I think there's been some pullback on that. But I hope that that's not the case. We do have a heavy population of immigrants. We do not want anyone to live in fear. And that's just not how America should be.
No, and I agree with you, and I think that there's a lot of worry and concern, about all of this, as we continue to move forward here, and I think that while everybody has their own opinion about what this is all about, I think this is political theater for the president, of course. And, I'm concerned about the fact that now that the focus, once these troopers get here, or the troops get here, of the country is going to be on Memphis, as it was in Washington, D.C. when that was going on. Everybody's going to, all eyes on Memphis as to what's going to be happening, what's going on there, and the whole 9 yards. What's confusing to me is not too long ago, and you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but maybe less than 2 months ago, when asked, Governor Lee said, "We don't need troops in Memphis. We don't need that. We don't need any of that here." He said, "No, we're doing okay. Some of the initiatives that we have, seem to be working in the city. Of course, from the city officials here, from the police chief and the mayor, crime is down 25%. Yet and still, we have this influx of all of these folks coming into town. It does really send mixed signals, does it not?
I mean, it definitely does. The governor did say that. It wasn't not that long ago at all that he felt it was not necessary to send troops to Memphis. He was not going to do it. However, this is at the direction of the president, and all sorts of things change when that happens. Unfortunately, all eyes will be on Memphis, and I hope that people will not overlook all of the great things about the city. Crime is down to a 25-year low. Mm-hmm. People are working together to try to make Memphis a safer place, a better place for people to live. We have so many great things like the Grizzlies, like blues, like rock and roll, like our just strong work ethic. This is a blue-collar town, and we rely heavily on tourism, and the state of Tennessee relies on tourism dollars. And if you have this occupation of sorts, and you have all this negative information coming out about Memphis, I'm afraid it will have some serious economic impacts as well.
So, you stated it. Now, before you get out of here, I just want you to state it again. What do people in our city, many of us who have never experienced anything like this, a lot of the older folks, back maybe 68, maybe during COVID, but But what is your advice as a very respected political official here representing our community? What would you tell people? What do we need to do? What do we need to know?
Well, I'll tell you, my office is working on some guidance so that we can put out information so people know what to expect. But I think just make sure that you are listening, you're paying attention to what's around you, you're paying attention to having all your documents related to a driver's license, insurance, things like that. And just know that, they're going to be working under local law enforcement, but we do need to wait and see what's going to happen. So don't be afraid. There are resources out there if you feel like you've been mistreated. And again, my office will be releasing a list of kind of things we expect. It's also not illegal to record, so keep that in mind as well.
State Senator Ramesh Akbari, my friend, it is always great to see you. Thank you for your words, and like everybody else, we'll just watch it and wait and see what happens. But thank you for coming on tonight. I appreciate you.
Of course, my pleasure.
Okay, take
care.
Bye-bye. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's one view of all of this. I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have another view from about this situation from someone who thinks it is a good idea for the National Guard to come here. And as I said before, we don't look. I don't discriminate. Everybody has a different opinion, and they are always entitled to it, especially on this show. We will speak with a representative of the Shelby County Republican Party when we come back. This is Real Talk. I'm Chip. Don't go away.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Music Export Memphis presents the Tambourine Bash on Thursday, October 16th at Overton Park Shell. Now in its 5th year at the Shell, the Tambourine Bash features more than 30 musicians in collaborative sets, including a finale from Unapologetic and Future Everything. The event concludes with a super jam produced by Royal Studios' Boo Mitchell. Proceeds support Music Export Memphis' grant programs for Memphis musicians. Ticket information and event details at musicexportmemphis.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. Have you along for the ride this evening, and as I said before the break, everyone has an opinion, and I think it's important to hear differing opinions, differing from yours. And so, with this issue of the National Guard coming here, the federal assets coming here, and a lot of folks, we're all kind of in the world of the unknown. I wanted to have a guest on tonight who actually thinks that this is a good idea, and he will explain to us and tell us why. Please welcome to the show Luke Semple. He is the vice chairman of the Republican Party of Shelby County. And Luke, it is great to have you on Real Talk Memphis. Thanks for coming, man.
Well, hey, I appreciate your having me. This is my first time on the show, and they say you always remember your first time. So this is good. Thank you.
Well, you're absolutely welcome with that. We hope you remember this in a good way before it's all said and done. So, quickly, we all know what's about to happen. And, of course, you and members of the Republican Party last week, you had sort of a kind of a welcome to Memphis, I don't know what you call it, kind of a get-together, I would say, in reference to all this. But simply put, Luke, why do you all think that this is a good idea and a positive thing for the city of Memphis?
Sure. Look, what the Memphis Safe Task Force does is bring more than a dozen federal agencies together with a plan to come to Memphis and tackle our crime challenge. And yes, the National Guard is a part of that. I think it is a small part of that. I think they will be doing largely administrative tasks. Perhaps that is helping with booking at 201 Poplar. Perhaps that is serving as bailiffs in our court system to support our local law enforcement, so our local law enforcement can get back out on the streets and do the policing to arrest the bad guys. And so, look, we as a city have been saying we need resources. We need help with a variety of different things, crime being one of them. And the president, to his credit, has listened and is saying, okay, we're sending over a dozen federal agencies there to clean up crime and get routine criminals off the streets that are hurting folks in our community. And so we are excited. Again, there are some that are seizing on the National Guard. And, you know, I have to say, I was really disappointed in particular with Councilwoman Jerry Green last Thursday at her press conference, where she used words like terrorize. She was using language and rhetoric to try to sow division and fear in the hearts of Memphians when she doesn't even know the plan, seizing on the fact that the National Guard, which is just one of many agencies which is coming, and just trying to stoke fear. And I think it's really inappropriate. She is my councilwoman.
Sure.
I live in her neighborhood. And, you know, I just think that's really inappropriate. So I hope that the rhetoric can be toned down a little bit so we can really focus on getting routine criminals off the streets.
What do you say to people, Luke, who say that money could be better spent in terms of sending us financial resources here from the federal government? There are a lot of things that, as you said earlier, that need to be addressed here, and a lot of that costs money. And you know, we've heard the argument for a while now that we need more help from the federal government in terms of financial resources. What do you say when people make that argument?
Look, I don't know that I necessarily trust that just money, particularly run by these local leaders. You know, I'm looking at Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris, who has effectively defunded the sheriff's office, and the poor Sheriff Bonner saying, look, you know, I want to go hire more people and you're taking money away from me. So, you know, I don't know that I trust our local leaders, or some of them, to allocate the money efficiently or in the correct spots. Look, if the county government or city government wanted to, they needed more money, why don't they give up their grant slush funds and put their $200,000 a piece to the sheriff to clean up crime? I just don't think that money is necessarily going to fix it. And look, you know, the FBI, U.S. Marshals, ICE, ATF, DEA, they are trained to target specific types of criminals that Memphis MPD and the sheriff's office is not trained to do. And so they're going to be able to use their expertise to infiltrate these gangs and start to arrest the criminals. So I say we let them use their expertise that our local law enforcement doesn't have. Let's train up our local law enforcement to be able to carry this, so that when the federal agencies leave, we can continue to have a safe community. But I don't think President Trump, you know his ego, I don't think he's going to let it fail.
Okay.
So I'm pretty hopeful and positive. And you know, the Republican Party of Shelby County hears the people of Memphis and wants to have we know that they want to have a safe community.
So, you know, we have heard that from our local officials here, be it the mayor and be it the police chief, C.J. Davis, that crime has been trending downward for a while now, and it is at a 25-year low. Yet we have this, I guess, encouraging, if you will, of additional personnel coming to town to help fight it. I heard Governor Lee say in an interview last week that he doesn't want this to be a short-term fix. Many people were thinking this may be a month or however long it is, but he doesn't want this to be a short-term fix. He wants this to be a long-term solution. Have any thoughts in reference to what exactly that might mean in terms of the length of time these folks might be here?
Sure. So first on the crime stats, yes, we have been seeing crime stats fall from a very, very high level in
True.
2024, broke
True.
all records.
True.
And so, I don't want that to be the litmus test. Second of all, we've seen crime really fall drastically in the past quarter, and what has changed in the past quarter is for the past 4 to 5 months, we've had Operation Viper going on with the FBI here in Memphis. They've arrested over 500 routine criminals, and they have about 110 federal indictments so far. So removing 500 routine criminals off the streets has a drastic impact on our crime. And so I think that's why in August we saw those new stats show about 20 to 25% decrease. President Trump addressed that in this press conference and said that first 20 to 25% is the easy part. We've done it in Operation Viper. Now it's the hard part. Now it's infiltrating these gangs, getting a lot of these other harder to reach criminals off the streets. As for long-term success, it was stated in the press conference that the goal is to have the federal resources come in, give MPD and the sheriff's office the resources. So I think that could include money and the training from these feds to start to develop these gang task forces here locally. So they can train MPD, they can train the sheriff's office to handle it once the federal resources leave. And again, once we put hundreds of routine criminals behind bars and remove them from the community, remove them from our streets, that makes it a lot easier to police and for our local law enforcement to keep up and keep crime at a manageable level.
So, there are two sides, to every argument here in reference to all of this. And one of the things, too, that there have been questions about is, you mentioned the Shelby County Sheriff's Office. They're undermanned, obviously. The jail is completely falling apart. And should there be a number of arrests, as you mentioned a minute ago? First, prosecuting these individuals, the way things happen around here is pretty slow. And secondly, are you concerned at all about being able to house any additional criminals that they may indeed take off the streets? Because our jail is completely full and overfull. And I know that they're trying to help develop resources in West Tennessee itself in reference to that.
Sure, our jail is full, and in some ways I do view that positively because I do think for too long we have this revolving door at 201 Poplar where criminals were getting arrested and they were going right back out, and that was a problem. And so what a full jail tells me is that we have reassigned our priorities to prioritize safety of the community. They're not just getting out on RORs. They're having to pay some bail, and the more violent and the more routine, that bail amount is going to go up. I also think we need to prosecute as many of these crimes federally as possible. You're right. Our state system is slow. I think that is partially the incompetence of our district attorney. I think that is partially some judges. There are some good judges that really move cases along. Our clerk's offices are supposed to help with that, keep the cases organized, keep things moving along. So it is a multifaceted thing we do need to look at, but I'm hopeful that by holding the district attorney accountable, by prosecuting as many of these cases federally as we can, that will help. And when you're prosecuting the federal system, they're not going to be in 201 Poplar. And then if we can move these prosecutions in state court along quickly, the state can then come get those inmates once there's a conviction.
One final question for you. What do you see or what do you hope, and what does the Republican Party of Shelby County hope would be the end result of this once it's said and done?
Look, a safer community, a community where you do not have to go to the grocery store after dark in fear because the routine criminals are behind bars. It is time for the law-abiding citizens of Memphis, no matter where you live, to reclaim our communities and say, no, our parks are for us. Our communities are for us. We do not have to live with this any longer. What I want to tell you is the Republican Party of Shelby County hears you. I think it is a disgrace that the Democrats are opposing this federal task force simply because it's President Donald Trump. And the Republican Party of Shelby County hears you, whether it's on the crime issue, whether it's on the Memphis-Shelby County School Board issue, which the County Commission just voted today to realign those elections to 2026 so that our failing school district board members can be held accountable. Both times the Democrats opposed those two things, and the Republican Party of Shelby County fought for you. So we're going to clean up our city. And if you've never voted Republican before, we encourage you, look at our party, because we are fighting for you for a cleaner, safer Memphis.
Luke Simble, ladies and gentlemen, Vice Chairman of the Republican Party of Shelby County. Luke, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show and express your thoughts tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it. It was my first time. I hope to be back.
Absolutely that, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you. See ya.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. The opposing view from the opposing party here. He thinks it's a good thing in reference to what is about to happen here. I'm going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, we're going to find out that we're going to tip into another area of all of this that might predicate a bit of concern and maybe even some thought. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away. Quick break. Right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back. Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city, ladies and gentlemen. Chip with you, along with my next guest, who's a very good friend. We have heard both sides of the coin tonight in reference to the federal assets coming to Memphis pretty soon. One of the federal assets that will be coming here is ICE, and we have a rather high immigrant population here. We're a sanctuary city, and I wanted to get the viewpoint from someone who represents that population, and I could think of no better person than the executive director of Latino Memphis, Mauricio Calvo. My friend, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you, Chip. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody for tuning in.
So obviously, you know what is going on, as the rest of us do, in terms of what is about to happen. I have been concerned myself about the immigrant population here and the role of ICE in all of this. I know that your population, the folks that you represent, are very concerned about that. What would you say the state of mind is about the Hispanic population and the immigrants in our city?
Well, Chip, I'll start by saying that if you know what is going to happen, please let me know, because nobody seems to know what the plan is. And that is one of the biggest concerns that we have, that there is no clear plan. Listen, I'll start by saying this. I'm a Memphian too, not by birth, but I've been here for over 30 years. This is the place that I live. This is the place where my children were born and where they grew up. So I am concerned about the safety and the crime, like most Memphians. So I think it's very unpopular for anybody, me or anybody else, to say we don't want additional resources. So I think what we have to do is we have to find some permanent solutions to this. One question that I've been asking people is, okay, they'll come, and what happens when they leave? And nobody has been able to tell us what is going to happen once they leave. Right. You are asking me specifically about the immigrant population. I'm the first one who recognizes that our immigration system is absolutely broken. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for anybody. What we do need is we need some kind of fix for this problem. We're asking for two things: a system that is, fair and out of cruelty, like free of cruelty. I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask. Do people here should be on a legal path? Absolutely. They're the first ones who want that. We've been asking this for years, but nobody is willing to fix this. We haven't heard any solutions or any proposals on how to fix this. It's just an enforcement only, and is a system that is not fair. It's asking people to be detained without due process. Is cruel. I mean, we have a reality that we all have benefited from. Like, people complain about immigrants, but like you said, people are working, people are, doing construction and landscaping and restaurants and all of these things. So we cannot benefit from that and pretend that we're against it. Like, if we don't like it, let's fix it. But just ripping families apart is just not the solution.
And that particular part right there, that last part you said, seems to be happening all over the country, where we initially heard this under the guise of all these illegal immigrants and they're criminals and they're this and they're that. You heard the president, proclaiming all of this. But yeah, we have seen time after time and place after place in this country, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., various places around the country, Chicago, and now maybe here, that the words that were initially spoken don't match the actions that have been taken when folks have been snatched out of grocery stores, out of churches, out of school. I mean, this is becoming something that I don't think anybody thought would happen in the first place. And you mentioned, fair, being people being fair about all of this. What does that look like to you?
First of all, it's to your point, it's been happening, right? So it's not like we're about to experience this. Like what I tell people, you may not hear on the news that 100 people got detained, but if 3 people get detained every single day, every month you get 100 people, right? And the numbers could be higher than that. But what I would like to see unfair, we would like to see a pathway. I hear people over and over again, people should get in line. Chip, I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to tell you, listeners, for most of these folks, there's no line. If there was a line, believe me, they will take it. Why would they choose to live in the shadows if there's an alternative? Like that, it's almost like if I say, you need a driver's license to drive, but we're just not issuing driver's license. Now, people are going to be like, oh, my grandparents came the right way. Let me tell you something. Your grandparents or great-grandparents were either brought here or they came here when these laws didn't exist. They didn't apply for a visa.
Right.
And you saw this on Friday. The president announced that even for skill visas, this is H-1B visas, these are people who work at St. Jude, at FedEx, at International Paper, at AutoZone. They want to impose, or he ordered to impose, a $100,000 per year fee to that visa. This is a completely anti-immigrant, a position. So we have an issue with illegal immigration, and we have an issue against legal immigration. So we can have it both ways. The reality is that we could all live here. Most people who are listening to this conversation cannot tell me that an immigrant, assaulted them or took their job away. Are there some exceptions? Absolutely. Should we enforce the law? Absolutely. But the laws that we have right now are completely broken.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about that. I'm sure that when people are talking to you now, and they're asking you the simple question, well, first of all, as you stated at the beginning, none of us know what's going to happen here. Well, none of us do, and we'll have to wait to find out. But I mean, what are their greatest fears? Some of the things that you said about tearing their families apart, showing up in places. We have a lot of children of immigrant families who are going to public school here. And, I think a lot of folks have been talking about, well, you're not going to see them. You're not going to see them anywhere near a classroom now because of what might be happening when the federal resources come. How concerned are you about that?
I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about, the physical presence of children in schools, but also the emotional fear, the adverse impact that this has on children, to be traumatized for a long time, that you have to live in fear. Imagine that you have to live under that fear all the time, where the crime per se that people have committed, quotes on crime, is to go to work. I mean, if these people are criminals, let's go to the jails and pick people who are, serving time for a serious crime. If we are stopping people on Summer Avenue or going into homes or into workplaces, I mean, people shouldn't be afraid to go to work. Now, I'm concerned about, the community that I work with, which is, the immigrant community, the Latinx community. They are afraid about, what is going to happen to them and their families. But also, as a Memphian, I'm also concerned the impact on our economy. I'm concerned about what does this say of us as a society? I mean, a society that doesn't seem to recognize that there is a problem and is willing to do something serious about it. Again, I'll go back. Is crime an issue? Yes. Is immigration broken? Absolutely. Now, let's not criminalize every single immigrant.
Right.
And don't think that just for a political stunt, we're going to fix this. We're going to make a problem bigger by doing this kind of action. I would love to hear our elected officials at the federal level to come up with some pathway for people to finally come out and become here, with the right paperwork. I'm telling you, for most folks who work in those kind of low-skill jobs, that pathway does not exist. Do your homework. Look it up. Don't quote me. And even if you're skilled, now you have to pay an extra $100,000. But the people that we're talking about, they're not in that category. I don't want to call it on a skill. It's just a different set of skills. But people who are working in restaurants and in construction and landscaping, distribution centers, they deserve to work. They're not taking the job away from the people who are listening to the show.
One final question for you, quickly, and I'm gonna step away from what we're talking about for a second. But you used to be a member of the Memphis and Shelby County School Board, and earlier this evening they decided, but the county commission decided that there has to be an election next year. They're going to pull the school board under the county election process, which means the ones that were elected in 24 will have their terms cut short and have to be reelected if they choose to do so in 2026. You have any thoughts about that?
I was literally driving on the way home, on the way from work when I saw the news. So I haven't had a chance to digest it. I think people saw that coming. I think at this point I really don't have a comment one way or the other. Our education is a really important thing and it's challenging. And the school board has many opportunities and many challenges. And I hope that this is a decision for the better. It is what it is, right? Yeah. So at this point, we have to make the best out of it.
Mauricio Calvo, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of Latino Memphis. Mauricio, thank you for coming on the show, man. And like you, all the rest of us will be paying very close attention in the next few weeks to see how all of this unfolds. But in the meantime, stay safe, my friend, as always.
Thank you. Safe for everybody.
Absolutely, man. Take care. All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is a look at the things tonight. I wanted to make sure that we had some differing viewpoints to give you a different look at what different people are thinking about what is about to happen. This is the unknown for many of us here. We don't know. As Senator Ackberry said, we don't have any plans. We don't know. I don't even know how much the police chief knows about this because we hadn't heard from her recently. The last thing I heard from her was to say, well, we need to find out what the plan is, how we're going to work together, if we're going to work together, who's going to be doing what. It's a very, very dynamic situation, and it's a bit puzzling and it's a bit troubling because we don't have a whole lot of answers, but we are going to be watching and looking and paying attention like I'm sure the rest of you are as well. And I will just say this, don't live your life in fear. I don't care who you are. Don't live your life in fear. Live your life. Do what you do on a regular basis. But use common sense. And parents, talk to your young people, okay? We have a lot of young hotheads running around out here, think they can challenge anything and anybody. Well, this is going to be a whole different deal, and you don't want them to get caught up in that. Take them aside and tell them what they need to do. They don't need to ride dirty. They need to be clean, and don't give a reason for someone to come after you in a negative way. Please, 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 ma'am, please, sir. The ones that you don't talk to your kids because they don't have time for you, you better make time for them. Before we get out of here, Bren is here, and of course his show is next in just a minute or so as he plays this out. Event Horizon is on the horizon. And Bren, you got a good show for us tonight?
Oh yes, sir. I had a fun time making it. It'll be some hip hop and some punk, post punk. We're getting a little darker outside, and I'm bringing the vibes to the music as well.
There you go, baby. Event Horizon. You can't miss it. Grin says he's bringing the funk, baby. Don't miss this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of what we do here at Real Talk Memphis each and every week. I really appreciate you. Truly, truly do. Continue to support what we do on a weekly basis. And if you like it, please go out and tell somebody. And if you didn't get a chance to check out the show, It's on my Facebook page. You can rewatch it there. It's a podcast, so you can pick up the podcast later on this week as well. And we are out. Peace.